Hello again, Base Camp B. Today, let's take a stroll through the OC Zoo, located within Irvine Regional Park. This 8-acre facility focuses on animals and plants native to the southwestern U.S., and many of the animals here were unfortunately injured, orphaned, or confiscated, and therefore cannot be released back to the wild. However, they are living their best lives here as animal ambassadors. As we enter the zoo and go to this bit of respite from the rain, we're immediately greeted by this adorable black bear, who I later discovered is named Eleanor. She's about 10 years old, I believe, and although she had a full-on rock pond, complete with running waterfall behind her to the left, was much more interested in enjoying some tasty raindrops today. We'll come back to her because she was certainly one of my faves. When you enter the zoo, you'll see some statues of big cats, and if you look to your left, and you're lucky, you will then see one of those big cats, in this case, a mountain lion, otherwise known as a cougar or puma. They're native to California, and they're very important to maintaining the prey population here in the state. Based on a list of names that I found online, this one is either one of the two males, Santiago or Ray, or one of the two females, Sage or Poppy. One of the employees there was laughing because they have a full heated room they can go into, but this one was choosing to sit out in the rain and just get drenched instead. And you can see they have that bridge where they can walk over to the other side. This beautiful boy seems a little easier to identify, as he's one of one melanistic jaguar they have, named Ziggy. Yeah. While the cats seem to have no problem sitting out in the rain, this little San Joaquin kit fox would rather be curled up in its little log den. This is the smallest of the 4 types of foxes that are native to North America. You can see they have the cactus growing in there, really well maintained. This porcupine was in the back part. Nobody told it we were here. There was also a Catalina Island fox, I believe, and it was not out, but if you're interested in learning more about the island foxes, Springbok ASMR has a great video about that. Here we have an adorable little raccoon, and please excuse my partner doing the regular show sounds in the background. This little guy, or gal, was having a wonderful time shifting through the loose soil after the rain, trying to find some grubs and bugs, I presume. I was wondering if this raccoon is young, because the ones that live in our own backyard are huge in comparison to this little one. But apparently they can be between 11 and 57 pounds, which is a very wide range. I don't know if it's because this one's eating a bit healthier diet than digging through trash cans, but the ones in our neighborhood are certainly pushing that 57-pound mark, I would wager. Here's a great puddle that it found, even reaching its little paw through the fence there. Is that Mordecai shouting above? And now we're back to Eleanor, who was found wandering Humboldt County when she was about 1 year old. It was believed she was hit by a car, sadly, but the OC Zoo has taken her in, and she's doing great over here now. Eleanor has shiny black fur, which is actually pretty rare for black bears that live on the West Coast. They tend to have a more cinnamon-colored fur. We just love our blondes over here, I suppose. Away from that, we have some birds, a great horned owl, and two parrots, a blue front Amazon named Cookie, and a double yellow-headed Amazon named Chewy. Here we have a collared peccary enjoying a tree star gift from above. Peccaries are actually not pigs, apparently, although they share a common ancestor. Pig tusks curve backwards, while peccary tusks grow straight up and down, apparently. Here's this sweet little barn owl getting a good scratch in. Continuing now with our birds, we move to a golden eagle, who I believe this one is named Tahone. She was found abandoned out of her nest as a chick and had a low chance of survival in the wild, so she's here now. Those near to her say she enjoys playing with toys and kicking balls, so fellas, keep your guard up. Next door to Tahone is this little turkey vulture. Much like the mountain lions, turkey vultures are very important to the ecosystem. They eat carrion, otherwise known as dead animals. It says they have a keen sense of smell and the remarkable ability to regulate their body temperature by urinating on their own legs. So I hope that's a nice, relaxing factoid for you. This sign gives some tips on how you can help wildlife with things like packing out whatever you pack in and using paper straws, and you can pause if you'd like to see the whole list. This interactive board let you try to match a mix of bird sounds to the actual bird that was making them. We got about a B in accuracy. It was tricky. Now let's move on to some reptiles. Here we have the San Esteban Island chuckwalla. They are a desert-dwelling lizard. They don't need to drink any water, which is good in all this rain. They are in their little area, nice and cozy. They get all the moisture they need from the food they eat. And you'll see they have these epic talon-like claws that really helps them with scrambling over desert boulders and clinging to the side of rock faces. And you'll see in here in the following reptile areas, they decorated them for the holidays, and it's so cute. I don't think a lizard brain is able to comprehend the festiveness of a Santa Claus, but I certainly appreciate it. But then randomly hanging out amongst the reptiles is this little ringtail, which is a mammal and actually a cousin of the raccoon. But heading back to animals of the scaly variety, we have the southern Pacific rattlesnake. And this is certainly the closest I'd ever want to be to one, with a pane of glass between us. There's several varieties of rattlesnake throughout California. They do warn you with the sound of their rattle before they're about to strike, but, I'd rather just not ever be in that situation personally. It says they give birth to their young live, which is very interesting for a reptile. And like the other exhibits we saw, they've got plenty of festive decor to enjoy. Now, as we say so long to our reptile friends, we're going to head towards the children's zoo. But first, passing a couple of coyotes, a very common sight here in Southern California. Not something you necessarily want to encounter while walking your dog, certainly. Coyotes are interesting creatures. They're very adaptable. You can find them in mountainous areas. You can find them in urban areas. They can live alone, or they can live with a couple. You can actually see there's two in here. Or they can even form packs. They eat meat, they eat fruit, so very diverse creatures. And much like the mountain lion and the turkey vulture, they also are very important to maintaining an ecosystem, keeping prey populations in check. You want to give them plenty of distance, though, if you encounter one out in the wild. And of course, watch out for any falling anvils in the vicinity. As we enter the children's zoo, on our immediate right, we see some Jacob sheep, which is a unique multi-horned spotted coat breed from the Middle East. They can grow 2 horns, 4 horns, or even 6 horns, which is pretty diabolical. This flock is watched over by a giant Jack Skellington, apparently. Now here's some really interesting friends. This is a Patagonian Mara. They kind of look like a capybara and a rabbit, maybe a little bit of a deer. They actually are giant fast rodents native to Argentina and the second largest rodent in the world after the capybara. They've adapted to run very fast. They have back legs with 3 toes and front legs with 4 toes and some sharp claws, but these ones are less concerned with running and more interested in the rain. And finally, we have some good old-fashioned goats. This one is enjoying a tree star gift from the sky as well. This children's zoo and the zoo overall is very well maintained, and only $2 to get in, by the way. This guinea pig was not on display. I don't think it could have handled this downpour. And over here you can see the goats were very excited to see that someone had in fact come to visit them today. We didn't have any snacks for them, but I think they were still just happy to have some company on this wet Southern California afternoon. I don't know if you could really tell as we toured the zoo, but I really admired that a lot of the exhibits and areas where the animals lived incorporated natural elements such as tree trunks into their environment. I think it just feels really nice for them and obviously for the visitor as well. Again, I can't believe it's only $2 to enter here. There's also an audio tour you can take from your phone as you walk about the zoo. You dial in the number and then you punch in the code for whatever animal you want to learn about, and it'll give you more information. And I thought that was a really cool detail. Well, my friends, that concludes our quick tour of the OC Zoo. We definitely will be returning next time in sunnier weather, hopefully. I really recommend, if you're in the area, coming through and visiting these animals. And I'm going to let the last minute run out and just let you enjoy these rare SoCal rain sounds and a handful of still photos from the day. See you next time.